What's up, y'all? Let's put that here. Back in the game. Look at me. Streaming every Tuesday for three weeks in a row. I think that's an achievement and also calls for a small celebration. So cheers! Tonight we are drinking Guldendraak, which my lovely girlfriend brought for me when she was in the shop. And she was like, I like some beer. What does Tim like? He likes Guldendraak. Let's get some Guldendraak. Here we are. So cheers! Skål, hè! Yummy! It's one of my favorite beers. It's sweet. It's a dark beer, and that's about all I have to say about that. So before we start with some Elm, maybe let's do a little bit of a recap. I think over here, yeah, this is like the most clear thing I can explain. So at some point, a new player will happen, or will happen. Yeah, someone will register, basically. They will be created in the system. Once they are created, the object has been created, I mean, a player registered broadcast event is sent out, or actually domain event here is sent out. Then a leaderboard event broadcast listener picks those up, puts them on the leaderboard's event stream, and then there is a most challenges done policy that consumes this, or just looks for these broadcast events basically in the event store and replays those to create a projection of a most challenges done leaderboard. And this one currently just works by assigning points when you've challenged another player. That's about it. How does it look like in code? Maybe it's not really that interesting. I mean, just look at some of my archive in what's it called on YouTube. I have a playlist there. Maybe I can link it or something. I guess right now I'm a bit too lazy to maybe link it, or if it goes fast enough. Okay, let's just share it then. This is the link, sorry, to, there we go, to the playlist for our current project. And I think I did finally end up changing the command of Nightbot. There we go. On the leaderboard website, it's called ScrambledEggs. In the meanwhile, someone has already created it, but that's okay. We can just continue with this project just for learning purposes. What is something that I wanted to show is I did a bunch of stuff off stream in the weekend. Maybe we can go a bit over those commits because they are quite a lot of those commits, in fact. The 28th small refactor, it's something I did off stream, but all of this stuff I did in the weekend. So let's check it out. Yeah, first thing I noticed was that I had some compilation errors. Amazing. Fixed those. Then I made the tests temporarily succeed because I knew I was going to refactor some stuff. Then this is like an important bit. I split up the Kotlin conventions into multiple files. And what this allowed me to do, maybe I can show that. Here we go. So because we don't or no longer depend on the Spring Boot dependency in most modules, we had some ugly, maybe I can show that in fact. Like this part, this was like a dirty hack, so that the modules would still generate their own jar files next to a boot jar that was created by the Spring Boot target. So now we no longer have a dependency on Spring Boot itself. The plugin doesn't apply either on those separate projects, and it's so much cleaner now. If we look at what that looks like for example, if we take the REST API adapter, look at how concise this is. This is so much smaller than before. And now it's a bit more clear. This is now a library, or I consider it a library. I also added web conventions, so I don't need to completely depend on boot, I don't think, and maybe we'll take a look at that later. And then here for my project dependencies are now correctly noted as API dependencies instead of implementation dependencies. Let me just add the do not disturb on my phone as well. There we go. But yeah, so it's so much cleaner now. I think the build has improved in build time as well, so that's really a super cool advantage. What can I show? Maybe the scenario test is something that's going to be a bit interesting to show. So yeah, we're doing database cleanup a bit dirty now, or like not professionally, let's call it like that. Because if I add a new database table, I need to manually add this to this statement here, so just to get all of my database tables cleaned before I run all of my tests. But what's happening here, as the method itself, it just reads an anonymous user tries to register themselves, so I'm going to register myself. I'll become a registered player, and that we can check by making, a call to the player's endpoint. And then we just verify that the registered player with that ID is indeed me, or has my name basically. Then another thing that we'll do is we'll query the event stream. So this is the actual event stream backed by a Postgres table, where I'll fetch the first player registered, and they need to be equal to my nickname. So that's also correct. And then finally, we'll also check that a new leaderboard has been created containing me, having no rank, and having a score of 0. Yeah, and that's the thing that we did in the last time. So I think we've got like a fully working backend is what I wanted to say. Maybe something that I haven't set up yet is oops. Let's put that here. Let's increase the font size a ton so people can actually read this stuff. Then we'll go to my personal ScrambledEggs project, where I'll go Docker compose of ops Postgres, I think. Maybe let's first look at what's inside Postgres. You've got a single Docker compose file, and it contains 2 instances of Postgres, one for the event store and one for, I called it projections local database, but really it's it contains everything related to just a regular relational database. So if we start that thing up like so we'll run docker compose on the, I think it's minf, I forget. I think it's like this, Postgres, docker compose, and then we say up. I could have also navigated to, oh shit. Let's also run it with -d. So we just get a demonized version of that. And then we can, yeah, I don't think I want to show, but just, we can trust that these things are up and running now. Let's put it a little bit more closer so that I can only, so that I should only swipe like this. Okay, nice. Nice. So we've got a running, or we've got a running database. We can start up our application now. Or maybe let's first run the test to verify that I haven't broken anything, because I want to be building a UI that registers a player and then maybe also like fetches a list of existing players. Maybe that's the goal of this evening. We'll see how far we get. I think Cordusk also made a bunch of stuff before in the front end, so I don't really know a lot about it. So I'll first need to get into it, let's say, and see what we created. All right. By the way, any questions, feel free to ask. Okay. Looks like everything is fine here. There we go. So the test is running. Now maybe that's like an annoying thing, because it's a for before each. Now my database is full, or like populated already with people in it. I guess it's okay. Yeah. Let's go to the UI and see what we need to do again to get this thing running. Okay, so here's a bit of a readme on what this UI module is about. So it contains all Elm source files. They get built, blah blah blah. Ah yeah, okay, that's nice. But nothing about how to actually run the UI part. So, but I think we can look at this, because Elm make really that's basically it. So you can just run Elm make all the time. We don't really remember if we already set up a way to yeah, here we go. Nice. So we already got a way to run the project so that it continuously gets built, and that we do by using the Elm live package, I guess you call that stuff. It then builds the main Elm file, puts it into a main.js, which gets loaded into index.html, and all traffic to /API we will just forward towards this URL. And on this URL, that's actually where our application, the backend application, is going to be running. So maybe first let's run application, and this we can just run. Maybe we'll run it in debug. I actually haven't tried doing this since forever, so maybe we'll run into some problems. If we do, then it's likely we don't have the right settings. Yeah, okay. Failed to determine a suitable connection URL. So if we go to test resources in an application, I think no, these are R2DBC connection properties. So I expected those to be, oh yeah, we need this profile to be active, in fact. So there we go, and then this I'll also need, I think, or let's try to use the RDBMS profile. So that thing is located. Let's close a bunch of files, in fact. And I think I'll also need RDBMS profile. What that thing will do is it will look for application.properties files containing the name yeah. This is already taken care of, I hope. Application dash And then there's event store. Ah, we don't have an RDBMS. Ah, we do. Okay. Somehow it just didn't list that. That's interesting, yeah? So this one is an event sourcing main. Resources. Maybe it's just because... derpy derp. It does have a different file icon though. Maybe it's because this module understands that it's a Spring module and this doesn't really. That's fine, I guess. Anywho, so the dash RDBMS properties should be loaded, and then these stuff needs to be taken into account. Anyway, so if I try to rerun my application, hopefully this will suffice, otherwise I'm not really sure. And I can't stand simple stuff like that, so we will just add it to the dictionary. Oh, yeah, so this is good. It started up, and now it's just constantly regenerating the leaderboard. Maybe that's not something I want. So let's stop the server. And this is so annoying, because if I change this now, then my how do you call it? Like my scenario test might fail. But I guess it's something that we'll figure out later. Huh? Let's close this one because we know that it works. Then we'll open the most challenges done policy, which contains the schedule normally. Yeah, so every half of a second we run this. That's too much. That's too much seconds. Let's do it like this. And then say that, yeah, this is hopefully every minute, because these are milliseconds. So that's 1 second. That's a minute. And then times 5 is 5 minutes. Hopefully my math is good here. Otherwise, yeah, we'll see. So I guess, of course, using a how do you say it, like a timer as or a schedule as a trigger is not ideal in any case, because I guess we expect, so me as a user of this website is expecting that when I register myself, that I will also be visible in the leaderboard somewhere. At least maybe with just 0 points or something. That's fine with me. But yeah, anyway. We can actually see that it's scheduled already once, or it gets triggered once. So maybe it will also be fine to run in my... although... No, that's not true, because it's important that the scenario first does some stuff like registering a player, then gets triggered. So the stuff that should happen to register a player is going to happen after this first initial event gets triggered. So that we can take care of later. But in any case, we've got an up and running backend application. So now what we can do is we'll go to the UI, and then I am not actually sure if I have, it looks like I do. I was gonna say if I have a node modules or whatever, because what I really want to do now is a run, what was it again? Wait, it's not an elm.json, it's a package.json. We can just do npm start, which is going to start Elm live, and now something popped up. I think I want to put it here. Is that legible? Maybe I'll make it a bit bigger. Yeah, okay, nice. So yeah, if you're interested at all in playing arena first-person shooters, then go to Diabotical District, where passionate, trashy nerds align their goals. It's a bit of a joke, but it's also actually really true. You'll find a very helpful community there. This, in fact, is already a list of existing players, methinks. So if I enter Nightbot's name here, and I think pressing enter, yeah. Okay, nice. It does seem like the the UI is not parsing the JSON that gets sent back though, or at least not yet. So we've already found our first thing that we can do. But at least the result is being displayed here. Now let's just try and change like a very stupid thing, like not having the button called register, but I don't know, like it's just anything else really. So we'll go to the main file called main.elm where everything of our UI is currently at. And then I hope it says watching the following files. So, I mean, let's see if we've changed the name. This thing is everywhere. Where is the buttons? Yeah, we just need to be in the view. And now I really miss Visual Studio's or Visual Studio Code's mini-map, let's call it, where you can just scroll down instantly. Where are we at? Routing. This is Cordusk's comment. He doesn't understand routing yet. Maybe he does in the meanwhile. But somewhere there should be a button. And this button, please enter a username. This does not seem like it's the, here we go, register. Let's rename this to register as an eggbot. We just save, it gets triggered, and it gets updated. Sweet. That looks already amazing. Okay, so let's revert that. Do I have anything to commit already? Apparently I do. It's the this thing I want to commit because it's what is this? This is configuration. So let's do that. I think it's the hammer. Don't really remember. I guess this is like a. It should be a wrench. Facial hair. That's right, Karel. I'm sorry. But I've noticed that it helps. No, I'm not really. But Megan likes it. Megan likes it, so this is okay. Yeah, this is okay. Joined the Three Musketeers. My application is running. They haven't accepted yet. But yeah, you can see I'm good at fencing. I mean, this is not in frame yet. Shit. Okay, so that last part you can't actually see anyway. Hey, schola. Yeah. We're just trying out new looks, young Karel. I hope you've got some nice beer in wherever you are. Actually, I don't want to give away your location just in case you're worried. But I hope you've got a nice beer over there. What did we do here? This is the thing I want to commit. So, what's that? Like added necessary database and event store profiles to start up our application. That's that. Let's just push that immediately. Yeah, why not? Okay, nice. So as we saw, once you enter a name, rest in peace. Press F to pay your respects. There you go. You are now registered, and then a username appears. This is not what we want. We just want the username itself. Maybe what I also want to do is rename that into not being username because it's really the nickname. So let's first go to our controller. And then this is the registration info. Huh. Oh, we just sent back the complete register play. That's maybe not what I want. Maybe we can just do this. And then it's fixed. Oh, I guess it's not. Ah, yeah. Let's do a string. There we go. Yeah, it really is. Zergraver, aka Karel Krombeck. He's one of the old, let's call it, the old Quake 3 scene in Belgium. He the great achievement he created, or actually he just got his Kickstarter funded to create something like Tabletop Simulator, but on specific to doing fantasy role-playing games. It's called, what was it again? Like Fantasy Alchemist or something? Maybe we can... Fantasy Alchemist Kickstarter. Maybe we'll find it like that. Dungeon, here it is. Dungeon Alchemist. Ba-boom! Amazeballs. So yeah, if you like this kind of things, funded in 3 hours. LOL. Yeah, so there we go. If you're interested in this kind of thing, you know what to do. Press the back button. Maybe I can just copy paste it as a link. There you go. All right. Yeah, I mean, we can just, I think, refresh this, alrec 2. Oh, so I don't think my, this thing got updated automatically. That's a bit sad. Actually, we broke a unit test now. Yeah. So this should just be snarf. There we go. And I think it's going to work. Maybe we can run it as the application is starting up. Here we go. Oh, we've got already 4 players now. Scallop. Yeah, this seems to work. Great. This does not seem to work. Why is that? Because of the internal crap again? Is that why? Sometimes if you run tests, sometimes it won't work. Then I can never figure out. So okay, we fixed the test. Okay, nice. So what we also did here, maybe I can get rid of that. This is basically some refactoring. Returning username. Actually, it's not really refactoring, but let's call it that way anyway. Returning username instead of full player payload or something. There we go. And then I think maybe I'll also make that a commit. I guess it's also arranged because it's configuration. Changed schedule trigger to 5 minutes again. Okay, we can push that. Okay, nice. Then what do we want to do next? Yeah, so we've got like an actual username coming back, but I don't want Hengi, Bertie, and Jos to just be hard-coded. So maybe let's do an HTTP call to the REST API. So what I want to do is, I think you can do, I want a new HTTP request. Get all players, fetch players, sure. Ah, yeah, you can add them as, that's right. Oh, I guess let's just add it for now. I think the way it works is you just do get, then the actual endpoint. So that's this thing. Then we do API, and then I forget because my mind is a sieve. Controller. It's just that. So player, I guess we'll get them all. There's no such thing. We don't have a get all players endpoint. I guess we need to create that real quick. That's annoying. But yeah, anyway, we need it, so let's just do just that. So we don't want an actual specific mapping, so this would be get all players. We don't have a path variable. It will return not just a single registered player. Oh yeah, I guess this is like a better thing to keep than Anyway, what do? We return a list of registered player JSON objects, and then I want to execute a query called, hey, cheers, Karel, see you later, have fun gaming. Let's do fetch all registered players. Just call it like that. I think we still want to do this mapping so that our representation gets turned into JSON. So this should be the exact same thing. This should be players. And then I want my players thing to be a list of registered player JSON objects. Maybe, this needs to change a bit, I think. Not really sure how you do that. Let's call it like this, and then reference it like this, then create a private function called registered player representations as JSON, which is going to take in a list of those representations. So this thing, reps, sure. And we are going to be returning a list of these. Nice. Let's return an empty list for now. There we go. I've been coding in some Java today, it seems. Voila. Now this thing doesn't exist yet. That's a query. So what we'll do is we'll create this one as we go. I mean, this is really just delegation, so I don't really feel like, it's not really actually only delegation, because we're mapping. This is the mapping part. Okay, you know what? Let's just implement it. Reps map, and we want to map using registered player, no, the representation to JSON. There we go. And then we'll convert it into an expression body. Voila. And now it's a bit more readable, I think. Now we just need this thing as a query. So let's navigate to this thing here. And I think, just take a look at where it's at. It's in players, but there's a player by ID files. But I do want to reuse this representation here. So maybe what I want to do now is I want to rename this file and just call it player queries or something, called registered player queries. as a file name, and then I guess we'll add this one. It doesn't have a single argument, and it's going to be returning a list of these. Problem? Crap. It needs an ID apparently, but actually it doesn't need an ID, in fact. Oh boy. Made too early of an abstraction, it seems. That's too bad, huh? Yeah, I really don't want this. But if I do, then I've got a refactoring on my hands, and I don't want to bore you guys with this. Or sorry, you folks with this. So what I'll do is I'm just going to ignore the ID that I'm going to pass along. Maybe I can just set it to aggregate ID.random. It's just a type alias for a random or UUID. So here we go. There we go. Now we've got our query, and our controller code should be compiling if we import it. Sweet. So then the next thing we need to do is implement a query handler for this one. So if I go and look at the player by ID query handler, where's this at? We've got a core domain. For the lack of a better name, actually. So if you've got like a better idea, which is actually something I tried figuring out, what is like an actually good name for that. I started to get that as like a way to discover service, bounded context boundaries, which is a way, or which is listed here. I think it's .com, not really sure anymore. So at ddheuristics.com. If you go there, you find lots of great heuristics of all kinds of nature. For example, to I think maybe it's in design. Align. Design bounded contexts around event storming policies. Here, I think this is like the one that I followed. Looking for one-way flow of orange stickies and put them in the same boundary. And then, yeah, this is like a thing. So what I try to do is discover if I put an event storming, so I also added the commands here, if I added the total flow of what happens when a player registers up until they record a match or complete a match basically, then you can already see like this part, this continuous flow is one thing, and this here below is like other random stuff. And I think what we can do is really split it up like this here to make the distinction a bit more clear, if that actually does make it more clear. There we go. So all of these events happen before any of these. I guess these can be done whenever, but this is like part of how do you say that? It's a definite different part of the application than this part, because here you already have like a full player and side information, like which clan do they belong to, etc. And then here is where the challenging happens and the match stuff happens, and then the reporting of the match happens, and then what's not on there in fact is stuff like this. Leaderboard was regenerated. That's like the main thing actually. This is what the site is supposed to be about, and it's at the very end. But this is like something different completely, like very, very completely. That's why currently this is in its separate thing. It's still sort of in the same monolith, so we're building a modular monolith right now. And all of this is in the same core package, but really maybe it should be split up into this bit, this bit, and then this bit. Let me lock this frame real quick so that I don't have that happen again. Maybe this one as well. There we go. Yeah, so that's the idea. And why did I start talking about that? I already forget. I guess it's to show where in the situation that we are. So really, we are now in this part of the code base is what I'm trying to say. And we've got a query. So we've got a registered player aggregate here. And these list a bunch of handlers that a registered player can deal with. So in Kotlin, you can do like this nice and concise thing of just creating a file and call it whatever. I decided to use the aggregate name so that you can easily find it again or retrieve the stuff that belongs around a registered player. And we've got the registered player handler. This is in fact a command handler. You can also challenge players, which is another command handler, but then you can also query a player by ID. And then we got this one. So what we want now is a handler for, so it's going to look a bit like that. And yeah, that's not something, we need this query handler. And it's going to work with this query. And that's in fact this thing itself. Then that should also work with that type of query here. Right now we're just making it compile. See what this thing is complaining about. Ah yeah, so this is not correct because our fetch all registered players is typed by returning a list of representations, whereas we're just saying the result type is just a single one. So I'll need to transform that into a list. Then that means that this output type is also going to be a list of representations, and then this no longer compiles. So now instead of getting them by ID, let's just get them all. Get all, I don't know, get all. And we don't use anything. These will be the registered players, and then they will be need to turn into representations here. So I'm still on the fence on how to, yeah, if I really need this representation layer in between here. But yeah, that's maybe for another day. Because really what I'm trying to do is I want to do some stuff in the UI. So we're implementing a bit of this stuff so that we can do something in the UI. I wonder if I had some tests for that. I don't seem to have those. And I'm a bit... I'm trying to do like a bit of a different style of doing testing in this project, where I value component tests or like very, very, very top level integration tests over smaller unit tests. But that sometimes means that small parts are not used yet. So really what I should be doing now is creating a scenario where I register a bunch of players, and then when I fetch or call this endpoint, or actually the endpoint we just saw, that those players will be returned in fact, and that what's it called again, the leaderboard also gets updated appropriately. But let's skip that for now, and then I'll just do the boring stuff a bit later if that's okay. We don't have a get all method just yet, but it's going to help if I'm going to be typing this as a registered player list. And then I can also add an extension function, which I guess should be internal here. I mean, it's no real use, in fact, doing this even, because not a single module has a direct dependency on core implementation. So this is the only module, and yeah, this one that the other modules depend on. So really, you can't even access this at all, which is one of the reasons why I need this representation, like an intermediary object. But yeah, anywho, let's do, yeah, we were doing a list of registered players. I also want that thing to have a toRepresentation function so that I can, yeah, basically map this using registered player to representation, and then we're done there. Then we need to implement the player repository or add a member function here. Let's add it in the registered player repository. I don't think oh, dang it. No, this is correct. However, I'm thinking. Yeah, so my repositories are not interfaces because I want to have the fact that I'm like fetching registered players to be a concept in the domain. And when you do that, then I actually don't really know why I have this, because I'm not really sure what's on there. Oh yeah, 2 things, okay. Whatever, I guess. Makes sense to have these, but maybe, again, not necessarily. I don't really think it should be... this doesn't really need to exist, in fact. I'm not really using it for anything, aside from just not being forgetful. This is also not good, I've learned. They can be private. Then I want a getAll function. And this thing should just go to the players and yeah, actually just return them all. But that's kind of weird, because really what this thing is a way to store and get them by ID. So, and it's not actually implemented as an interface, in fact. So we really need get them all, or call it all. I don't really know. This I think is fine. Now I need the other way around, in fact. That's something like this. Yeah, so I want to do this and then say to registered players. That's what I want to return. So these talk in queryable players, which is an interface in my core API, but which gets implemented straight up by JDBI. So yeah, let's just straight up implement that. Let's do we'll get a list, I guess. I think I love lists. And then this should be, again, just a map using queryable player to registered player. Is that because it's private? I think so. In that case, I think I might get away with this. Also not. Maybe first I need to take a look at what the actual problem is here. To registered player is a member and an extension function at the same time. Reference to such elements or not. And then mystery, it's a mystery. I guess if we just write it as a lambda, then you might understand. If I now use the Alt-Enter tools, and that's not what I wanted to do. Or maybe it is. I guess not. This will do, I guess. Anyway, now we need to implement this. First, let's do it. Then that's a bit more clear. Yeah, let's first create an abstract one where we are returning a list of queryable player. Then we'll just do that. Now stuff is going to break because the one that's implementing this should be complaining because we've defined a new interface. Hello? Strange. Compile? Oh. Compile. Compile it does nothing. That's really weird. Okay. We need to select all. I don't know if you need to actually do that. So this is at a point where a tests would have come in handy. Yeah, and I think it just works because of the type information here. Not sure, but yeah. Again, something that would have been handy if I had actual tests. Damn it, maybe I should have. Should have added tests there. Can we come up with a test? Maybe it's something that I actually want to test in the in the UI now. And I guess it's written quite fast. So this should work, but then also when you fetch all players step with no stuff, then these are all. Then I can assert that registered players contain, maybe do extracting or something. Contains exactly, I guess, because there's only one person in there. These are actually registered player JSON things, and we want to get the nickname out of there. Okay, that's sort of what I want this thing to look like. Then let's just add this step. Then we'll go here, we'll create it. You don't need a where clause for deleting all rows? Probably not, no, you're right. I think it's still a leftover of in the DIO, or is it in the delete part in the scenario somewhere? Here. I think we can get rid of them, yeah. Let's get rid of them. And then we can just run that and then verify, because we'll get an error anyway, especially here. Okay, nice. So this thing goes here. We've got a fetch all players step, which is not yet imported. There we go, that'll compile. And then we want to fetch all of the players. And then, because magic of Ktor, this is just going to get automatically mapped from, or deserialized actually, from JSON strings into a list of registered player JSONs, hopefully. And then we can run this test, I think. Oh, what? This is a bit weird. That's interesting. See, what I thought that was gonna happen is that extracting would return a single thing. Why is it a tuple though? That's a bit weird. Okay, we've got another extracting thing. Let's try to write it as Kotlin, maybe. So that would look like this. Dot nickname. It no worky. Brothers, why is this? I'm saying that it's going to return a list of registered player JSONs. So this is just like that. Then extracting should really. Mayo, what the fuck? Okay, let's do string then. Okay, I guess I needed to type it. That's a bit weird. Is this just Java maybe? Yeah, okay, this is just Java, that's fine, okay, that's fine. Coolio, let's run the test, I guess. Is it going to conflict with stuff? We've got our application up and running, so it might conflict with that. Let's just run it and see what happens. That's the best way to find out. What's up, by the way, everybody? Nice of you all to join the stream. We're in 1 hour. I've titled it, "We're doing Elm today." What are we doing? Not Elm today. But we are on the way. We're on the way. It's okay. Okay, so now I think we're running into that, God damn it. The policy, which has a timer of every 5 minutes, and now I need to change it to be able to run my, damn it, I should have, I didn't wipe it. Maybe I do need a 1 = 1. I should have looked at the test first, sorry. Or the output, I should say. I think, yeah. So delete statement without where clears all the data. Yeah, that's what I want. Now it is working. That's a bit weird. What the hell? Anywho, it seems to be working. So that's good, I think. Maybe I can run it again, just to make sure that it's not flaky. It's so weird because it's running in the before each step. So first it clears tables. I could have sworn I saw like Ulrich and other people there. So if I add, because this thing is still running, right? Yeah, let's add some people. Audacious Ferris. You're now registered for the Scramble Ladder. Congrats. Let's also add Ulrich again. And then run the test here again. I could have sworn that they were also in there, in the assertion error. I just don't know then. I guess it's fine. Okay, cool. We've got a running scenario test. I guess we've completely implemented it then. That was quite easy. We have a running test, so that's also quite easy. Let's follow the path again. No, I want the controller. So we've got get all the players. That's, yeah, this one. It's going to execute the fetch all registered players. Let's just do that. So this one is going to be handled by this thing. This one just retrieves all of the registered players and then maps them to representations so I can share my aggregate state basically and with the outside world. This get all is implemented by going to the queryable players all and then mapping those queryable players back into actual domain objects. So this is recreating my aggregate. In fact, what I really should have here is like a more explicit function maybe, because basically if you compare it to event sourcing, this is rehydrating my registered player straight from a database entry, right? But I mean, it's simple enough that people understand the stuff. I hope, at least. In any case, I'm the one that needs to understand the stuff, and I do. So there we go. Then this all function here is located in the player's DAO or implemented here, which is just a simple query into the registered players table. JDBI takes care of the rest, and then this gets returned as a list of representations. Then we go back to the repository where those representations get turned into JSON objects. That's it. I'm thinking that this text here along with this text here is quite long, so what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and inline it. Let's see if that works. Refactor and IntelliJ. already understands what I tried to do. So friggin' cool. Yeah, I guess normally I would rerun my tests again, but I trust the compiler completely. Okay, nice. Now we do have an endpoint that's returning all of the players. I think we actually have some players in there. Now I can go back to my... Yeah, I was gonna say I need to go back to here and then execute it, but really I don't. Oh, that's not good. Was it not called player? Scenario, where are you at? Fetch all players tab goes to /player, yeah, why not? HTTP. I'm performing a get towards the... Ah, yeah, I know why. As I was writing that new... Okay, very important. I need to revert my... Where's the policy? Where are you at? Here. Revert. And then redeploy, because my application is not hot reloaded. It's the warning that I kept on getting. Restart? No. Restart the debugger. Okay. It's a warning that I was getting all the time, saying could not hot reload, blah 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 blah. I think it's because I don't have the DevTools char on my class path anywhere, so hot reloading won't work. Anyway, soon. Ah yeah, now we've got a running application again. Then I can execute this HTTP GET. How does it work? Like this. Haha! It is me. Then I will add allrec. And then rerun this. And I think... Oh, allrec is in there. Nice. So I want this list to be populated by this call, in fact. Okay, so now we can actually go into or back into main. Maybe let's first make a little bit of a commit, I think, where we just... I don't want to add this. Where do I put these files? I mean, for fetching players, it's not going to be very handy, but maybe later it will be nice to have. Okay, this is basically a feature where we say added endpoint to fetch all registered players. That's it. We push this, of course. And then what's next? We can go to destroy all the things. Then we'll open main.elm again, and then we'll go look at some code. What am I looking for? The subscriptions, maybe? No. Then we don't do it asynchronously. Here's the HTTP error to string. We already were mapping a registered player, but I don't think we're using this thing. This was the here. This looks like here we go. HTTP stuff. We register a player. That's cool. Then we do handle register player response. Actually, I don't honestly care that much. I just want to tie this result into this result should tie into doing another fetch to get all of the players. Okay, let's try that. Yo. Let's look it up. Where do I want to tie that in? We already have a list, I think. Here we are updating the model directly. Where we've got the users. But that's like the response. I don't think. Let's look where this thing is used. Got user. We got a user. This is a message C. Or message. Right. This is the implementation. Don't really find a use for that. Where is got user being thrown? I guess it's the return. Yeah, here we go. Got user. Nope, still don't get it. Why is handle register player response not returning the got user thing? Huh. Oh man, this is... I forgot how confusing this stuff can be. So difficult. Yeah, anyway, what I want is I want an inflatable crocodile. No, but really, I want to make, maybe if I can just do a call or something to get all the players. Is that how I want to do that? Or these things, in fact. What? Oh, how it gets exported, I guess. Don't care. You know what? Let's just do fetch players. Fetch players. Don't really know why I would get a model there, because I don't care. It's because if you click on the register button, yeah, maybe I don't want to use this anymore. I think what I want to do is I want to, wait, hang on, huh? Where's result? Yeah. So result is this thing, I handle register player response. I still want to do that, in fact. So that's cool. And then the result is this thing. Oh my, now I remember how Elm works. Jesus Christ. So if it's okay, it's an okay result, I actually don't care about user string. Instead, what I want to do is I want to say like a fetching users or something. I want to throw back a new. I want to return the regular old model, and I want to. No, what happened? What happened? Something's broken. Okay, there we go. I want to return dang it. We don't have a way to do that. I want to return like a new message, like saying, please Elm, go fetch another, fetch me a beer, fetch me some players. These. It's been a while. Oh my god, it's been a while. We can already, I guess, start implementing this a bit. We don't need a body for that. This is fine. And then this is got players, actually, which doesn't exist just yet. It's also not register, but player, I think. I was gonna look at the HTTP thing, but maybe let's go to the steps. Here we go. So just get them all. It's not my registration status that's calling API, but rather, yeah, I really don't want to use that, and I don't know if I want to have a state that shows I'm fetching players. Dang it. Okay, let's I guess I do need it somehow. I mean, they are users, so maybe then that could be users state or something. Let's maybe just rename that a little bit to registered players. Don't want to prefill. And then it's all geared. I'm just thinking if I want to have something like this where I'm also loading or like showing that I'm loading the registered players. I'm not sure if I want that. Maybe I can get away with this. Just have them be empty and then that's fine. I think it should be okay. So when my last function that I was updating, this thing here, that's not something I want to return because I mean, I'm not trying to encode anything really. I'm also not updating this. It should just be model. Now here we go. So my command is an HTTP GET. Okay, now I understand again. So really, I want to perform a GET. This is fine. I want to return got players as a thing. Where is got users? Here. So I'll need a new message type saying got players with a result type where we get an API error, but we no longer just get a string. I want a list of, damn, I'm not sure if you can write it like that. Registered players, maybe, and then that can be a type alias. players for a list of registered player things. I'm not sure if you can just inline that. Let's figure it out. Didn't think so. I guess you need to put this into like that, and then it will work. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it should be okay, I know. Okay, and then Elm is complaining you have not handled the case of the got players. And maybe we need to rename this as well. Got I guess this is more of like the handle register player response or something. This got register player response. We can do it later. This would be got fetch players response. And then what are these things? Username and blah blah blah. So that's not really correct for now. Not sure if it gets used anywhere. So yeah, yeah, our registered players are like that. That's a bit weird. I mean, sorry, my model is filled with that stuff, but here's the decoder. I don't think is used. View leaderboards. Really? We have that? Let's navigate there. Ah yeah, so that's not actually a leaderboard, I guess. This is just the list of players, huh? View registered players. And then this we really need to rename. Oh, it's so weird that we... Does this get updated anyway? Maybe I've already broken a bunch of stuff. Because in the handle player response... Was that here? Nothing gets updated. See, we don't use it. We ignore, maybe, yeah. I guess it did get updated. I did break stuff. It's like, oh, this is not getting used, whatever. That's not very nice of me, I think I tried to do too many things at the same time. Yeah, so really what I'm doing here is we were updating the users which are no longer users but called registered players. Push a player onto the list. But really we're just keeping the username, which is not something I wanted to do anyway. I want the result of this to just return a new command. Maybe we can just add that registered player thing there. This stuff. And then later extract it or something. Can I do that? What's your problem? Oh yeah, it's not supposed to be string, but different type. I guess we could try and make it generic. or do expect JSON with error handling. And then this is going to become an A, I think. And then you need a decoder. Yeah, I think that's it. Like you need a decoder to A or something, and then we're good to go. Thinking hard and long because we've got a bunch of uncompiling stuff, and I don't know what to do first. We are not using fetch players at all. I know that I need to update this, or to put it, or I want to put it here. And then updating the registered players is not going to happen there. And for some reason, I already forget. Oh, this we do need to do, in fact. So let's get rid of that. Let's update the registration status. Ignore this argument. Then instead of doing a command, get rid of this stuff. Get rid of one of the braces. There we go. And then this is basically perform fetch all players. Don't need anything, so perform fetch players. Should have extracted it, dang it. Fetch players equals listing. Oof. Sigma. Okay. Oh, my Elm format is not going off. Is that because it's not compiling? Or, yeah, we will see. This is incorrect because we don't want to expect string, so it's JSON. Then in our, this part, this can become perform fetch players, which actually we won't even use. So maybe let's just get rid of it. Then I need something like this, but not entirely like it. So first, let's copy paste it and then find out what it needs really. So not string response, but oh no, is it just JSON? Now the signature doesn't add up anymore. Oh yeah, it's not expect JSON. I need something like string response, but it needs I think a decoder or something. We need to look at the Elm documentation. Oh yeah, sure, that's okay. Elm HTTP expect string response, maybe? Elm blah. I was expecting to end up in the Elm HTTP documentation, so maybe I'll try that first. I'm not sure if it's part of the regular documentation. I think it's here. Elm HTTP. Then JSON. You've got expect JSON, but that's not what I want. Oh boy. Where's the rest? Ah, here. Here's the rest. Yeah, I know if I click here that there's like a... If you want to do like proper error handling, you need something different. I guess it still is expect string response. Ah, here's the decoder, right. Yeah, this is really what I want. Cool. So I want some way to turn the result into a message and a decoder, and then this decoder you use to decode the body, which is really just a string. The metadata, I don't really know what that exactly is. I think it's part of these underscore HTTP responses or response types. Yeah, I guess they can be ignored. So really, this is a string. And I want to decode this string. So really what I need here is another thing in between. That is a decoder, I think, of A. And then that's it's like here. And then we can wire that stuff up somehow by doing d.decode. Oh yeah, the maybe we already did that. Or maybe we did not. I don't remember. Dang it. That's fine. This is fine. This is fine. I guess even that is fine. But then we've got good status, meta, and then the body. And with the body, we want to do something. We do not want to just keep it as a string. So I need it's a d.decoder. What the hell is the d? I guess they aliased it. So now I don't really know what I did, but I think it's up here in the imports. And I think what they do there is something like that. I forgot where you do that. Is it like that? Who knows, man? Who knows? Anyway, I think we've got the decoder then. Don't know why it's underlined, but anyway, then we need to somehow use that decoder, that's this thing, to decode stuff, and that you can do with decode string, okay. And they do import json.decode as d, that's how they do it. json.decode as d. Exposing decoder. That's okay, we will fix that later. Then this should be just d, I think. Same for this. Not sure if I like that. Okay, and then the last part I was editing is here, and we want to d.decode string, and decode string uses a string, so that's in our case the no, it uses a decoder first, so that's the decoder, and then we want to decode body. But we do need this, I think. And then we might need to just pipe it. Explosions. What does this need? It needs to return. No, I don't know what this thing takes. Just a message, I think, because the two messages. No. That's this part, and then the message is the expecting, and then this can be the expecting. No, that's result. Yeah. So if I understand this correctly, this, it's in itself is going to return a result, and it can be either okay or error. So what, can't you do that with a map then or something? Yeah. So let's do that. So basically that's case decode string this part, and then of when it's okay, then a value. We just want to return okay value. Oops, value. If it's not, so if it's an error, then I already forgot what we were doing. I think it's yeah, we So now this is the error when the decoding doesn't work. We just do this. So we ignore really the result of the decoding thing and return this. You need this thing. Error to string, why is that? Oh, and you, yeah, this is correct. I wonder why this is not okay actually. The bad request thing. That's also from HTTP, yeah? No, we oh, that's right. We defined our own errors. Jesus, how do we call that? Do we just do bad request as well? I guess that's fine. And then this is translating the string of the decoder, or the error message from the decoder. Now this is still not compiling. I don't know why. Is there still something wrong with the type information? So because I think value is the decoded value of this decoder type. So this is something that understands how to return that string into a JSON thing, which is generic, huh? So maybe this is a bit wrong than the HTTP expect thing. No, because that's what expect returns, huh? What's the missing thing? Maybe this is not the okay that we're looking for. No, it's still because this okay is oh no. So here we're only returning error API errors. All right. Maybe that's not supposed to be string then. Yeah, this is an A, that's why. Yeah. This needs to be the same type as this thing. Yeah. And then this needs to, this is the error type, and then that can be this, hopefully. Yeah, okay. Whew. Whew. Okay. Then what? Then this expects a decoder and a message. So now, what's that thing called again? The it's a list even, eh? This immediately needs to be a list of registered players, I think. Because we're using this as a constructor function. So registered players decoder that doesn't exist yet. Maybe we can. Dang it! That's this part. I don't really know what the decoder looks like. But it's definitely a decoder of a list of registered players. Does that work? Yeah, it needs some input, I think. JSON as string, maybe? Oh, really? Then I don't know how that stuff works. Let's figure that out right now. Ye gods. Oh, that's another thing. It's maybe we go here. Because now we're in the part where we can this is like the next part is like the combining part, and I really forget how that stuff works. Here, they take a decoder. Got give. This is what the decoder looks like. Yeah, so that's okay. Huh? This is correct. Yeah, and now you need to compose it. That's right. And to compose it, you can use list, I think, and then we will see. Because field comes from decode here. And I think we've got more information. Yeah. All right. So we've got an age decoder that can decode, or that decodes something to, or a field, into an int. So this is also a decoder, and that's how you combine it. So I think it will be best if we first understand how to map to a registered player, so how we can decode a registered player. Then I sort of want to not deal with this stuff yet. Maybe list. Here we go. Oh, this is actually nice. So we want we are really just composing here, so this should be a registered player decoder, and then that's already fine. I think that thing doesn't exist yet, so let's create it. Player, which is of a single type, so this decoder understands how to parse JSON string. So that's something that takes two fields. I'm not really sure how you do that again. So we've got, yeah, we need to look at what registered player looks like, but they definitely have a nickname. So it's nickname. And then the base type is string. So I think that looks like this. Okay. String. Yeah, and now I need a constructor of a registered player, so not sure anymore, but this just has a username, so it's just I think it's really just like this, in fact. So maybe we don't need this, because it's not, we don't want to decode to a string, we want to decode to a registered player. That doesn't work that way. Then maybe it is d.string, and then we pipe that into a registered player. Let's look at the signature of field. Yeah, I think, but int is a decoder, Okay, outside layer here. But we already have the string part. Maybe it's not field. This uses a different decoder. So I think it's just map. Yeah. Okay, so start explaining. I think I want to return. I do it the other way around. So okay, this should be compiling. Yeah, nice. Okay, so the way this works is I'm saying I want to and this is decoder. It's a decoder that understands how to convert a JSON object with some properties in it, some fields in it, into a registered player. That's this thing here. Registered player is an Elm, not just how do you say, like, it's not only a type, but it's also a constructor. So here it's being used as a type, and here it's being used as a constructor, a way to construct a registered player. So I can do some player which is of a type registered player, and I can say some player equals a registered player with name scallop. This should work, I think. Yeah. Why is that? Because registered player is a type alias for a record type, and record types can be constructed either by doing like this, or by saying it's username scallop equals. Oh my god, I forgot. Totally forget about how the syntax work, but I think it's like this. I'm not sure anymore. It's been too long. I just only remember this is a way to call a constructor or to construct a registered player. So we want to use this registered player constructor because it takes a string. So this is very important. It takes a string. That's the type. So what this map thing does is it's saying, because the way you need to work with decoders is you need to compose all the things. And this registered player decoder, it's a decoder to get out. So it fulfills the contract of returning a registered player eventually. That's what this thing says. How does that work? Well, I can say I want to map this registered player with a bunch of fields, really, but specifically the field nickname. I know I'm getting that as a return type because there's a registered player. Oh shit. I guess it's called player JSON. Did I not use this? Oh no, I didn't use this. That's not good. Oh, where's my controller again? It's this one. Oh yeah, I did use that notation. Okay, so anything that's JSON, I can look at, and they've got a player ID and then a nickname. So I know that my JSON will look like, it will have a field with player ID and a nickname. So I can make use of that and decode the field nickname using the string decoder. And this string decoder then will return a string, of course. So it returns a string. And so that's what that looks like. And this string will be then piped into the constructor of registered player. And this again will be composed because map expects two things. One is an a generic type, and then or like a way to construct this generic type, because we know that this string will be how do you say that? Will be composed into the constructor of registered player there. Yeah, this I don't want, because I'm quite sure that nickname will always be filled in. So if you need optional types, you need to do it like this. But I don't want that. And I think this is how it works. I don't really remember, but we will see if it will work. Okay, so then we've got a registered players decoder, which is going to be returning a list of registered players eventually. But still there's something wrong here, but that I don't understand then why that is. Oh, you need a result. Why? Why is that? This is the same signature. This is how the expect thing works. So that should be the same. Okay, so this needs to be at the last, like as a last argument, I think. So we'll need to switch these around. So first we'll get our decoder, then our message, then our toMessage function. What the fuck? And then it should compile. Yeah. Okay, so the reason for this is the way currying works. And expect JSON with error handling. Oh god, how do I even start explaining this? This is so difficult to explain. Oh my god. Expect JSON with error handling. Yeah. No, I can't. I can't. I can't explain it. Maybe it, if I look at this signature, then it might. If I look at this. Dang it, I can't, I just cannot explain this for the life of me. Just suffice to say that magically, because this decoder gets put in between, magically this part is appended wherever this expect JSON with error handling is called. Does that help anyone? I guess not. But so somehow this gets appended to this call I don't think we can see it because this is a message type itself. It's just a message, you see. Ah, actually, yeah, maybe that's just it. Okay. So since getFetch players responses signature is you get this type, but this really is a result of an API error, or takes an argument of a result with an API error of a list of registered players. So when you say use this as a function, then yeah, and then also outputs a message. It's also quite important. Is if you say this getFetch players response takes in this argument but really is a message, what you're saying is that getFetch players response is something that takes a blah and turns it into a message. That's how that constructor function reads. And that's what we're seeing here. So this is the argument to this message constructor. No, this is the type of the constructor, because it takes a result API error with an A and a generic type, and it returns a message. That's what we have as a constructor type for this thing. Result API error with a specific type. And then it returns an expect type annotated with the message type. And that's exactly what this expect thing here is doing. It's something that you need in the get. This is important to the get thing. I think that's it. Yeah. And the rest is just function composition. Oh my god, this is so difficult to explain. It's so difficult to explain. But anyway, we've got our fetch players call here. We can get rid of this. This is no longer relevant. This is how to decode players. That'll be fine. We've got registered players already. We didn't need to specify that it's the username argument that we're filling in because it's just using the constructor function of this thing. So that's fine. Then there's some error here where this is incomplete because we've got a getFetch players response, which we still need, because now what we do is we do a register player. Once that returns with an OK, we fetch the where is that actually? Oh no, so this is just the getRegister player response. This is just the OK if you've done an OK job in registering. Then we go to this part. Then the getRegister player response triggers just a handle. And then when it's an OK, when that worked great, then we set the status to registered, and we perform a fetch players call. So we basically it's refreshing the registered players list, and then perform fetch players looks like this. It's an HTTP get to API/player, where on success we're doing a getFetch players response with a list of registered players. So now we need to handle the successful return of this. So it looks a lot like that, in fact. But let's type it out completely. So these are fetched players, maybe. Ah, nee, not even. This is a result type here, I think. So we'll need to handle fetch players response with a model, because we want to update our model somehow. Because we want to extract the decoded list of registered players and then render it somehow. So handle fetch players response is something that I'm going to put close to this thing. This takes in a model and a result with an API error and not a string then, but a list of registered players. And we are going to return a tuple of a model and a command with a specific message type. That's okay. Then when we say case result of okay, and now we are interested, I think, in the result, because the result will contain my newly fetched players, basically. I want to update the model, and I want the model, so this is a state pattern. I want the so I don't want to return another action here. I just want to update the registered players. Nee? How did I call them? Users? Anything? Give me some type information. Jesus Christ, please. Ah, jong. That's quite annoying. It's this, I want to update that list. There we go. And then when it's an error, yeah, basically I want to say all of this crap again. So maybe we can maybe you can extract this. Nee. Dang it. So this is handle API error, I think. And that we need to put in like a handle API error equals this part. Oh yeah, I do need a model. And then this thing should return. I guess it's already fine, but let's make the type annotation explicit. This looks really weird because we know for sure that it's really our model. So the way that, or the reason why IntelliJ converted it into only a model with registration status is because that's the only thing we're updating here. Which, I mean, sort of makes sense, but I'd rather have it just be the complete model. Okay, and then, so instead of doing this, we can just copy this line, put it here. Waru. Okay, that was just an indentation issue. Looks like our code is compiling. So that means that if I go back to my... Oh. Yeah. Let's try to add myself. So it's returning the total list now of all of the players instead of just the one that got registered. So let's add Audacious Ferris, and then they get added. Like the loading indicator is really short, but that's fine. Okay, now I think, so this is already really cool. We can just commit and say refresh list of registered players upon successful registration. And then the next thing we can do is, instead of this init here, I think what I want to do is initially just go and fetch the players. So this is perform fetch players, I think, because that's the command, right? Yeah. I think I want to make this a bit explicit. It doesn't really work. This is okay. So now, initially, when my web page loads again, voila, we get the full how do you say that? All of the players already. Now what do I want to do? I guess I want to clear the database. Which means, yeah, the event store, it doesn't matter what's in here. I guess it does matter. Let's clear it all. Then let's look at the time. Then let's also wipe the leaderboard. That seems to be working nicely. Then we'll go to the registered players. We'll wipe these as well. Okay, noise. Then we'll just refresh this. We've got no players registered. Now we can start off by adding someone. You are now registered for the Scramble Ladder. That's great news. Then if I X out and then just refresh, hard refresh the page. So on an initial load, we can see that the complete list of players is being loaded. Nice. And then, it doesn't really matter anymore. This is great. Then maybe the 5 minutes have passed. No, not yet. But we can also add that as a feature now. It's a one line of code. So refresh list of players upon initial load. Let's push these. So once you've implemented an API call, doing the rest goes really fast. Maybe another thing I want to do is, because I see that it says username here. I don't want it to be called username. I want it to be called nickname. Then username should also be out of the, what's it called? The model, I think. Anywhere it says username, it should be nickname, I think. And then I also want to automatically clear this text here whenever registration success happens, basically. So let's do one thing at a time. Let's first do some refactoring and clean up wherever there's a username, maybe just in this file, Tim. What do you think? this doesn't exist. It doesn't get used anymore. So let's get rid of that. User encoder. This apparently is used, but I'm not sure if we use username in the register player controller, registration controller. I guess we do. So let's rename it to nickname. Voila. Then we'll need to, let's first rename it here. Nickname. What the hell is this stuff actually? Oh yeah, okay. Whatevs. Derpy derp. Then what? Yeah, very important. We've changed it there, and that should be already fine. Then we need to fix it into the test here. This no longer needs to be username, but should be nickname. And then this at least should work. And then I think that's really cool because I used rename features. My, what's it called? My scenario test automatic. Oh, Leon. I wonder why that is. Like, you can only run the complete test, and only here it says no, okay, whatever. So this test, or the unit test succeeds. Let's go to our scenario where I register my player. I am still just using the same JSON object as the UI is using. So whenever I do refactorings here, it also automatically gets reflected into my register rep player step. So now I can, before I do anything, basically test that my scenario still works because I've just changed something. Now I can run this test. Actually, I've already ran the controller unit test, so that should have already told me enough. Or told me enough, I should say. Ooh. Explosion. Okay, here we go. So now I think obviously the wipe database thing has failed to run, but I don't know why. Why is that? I'm afraid if I do a system out that it won't get logged in the test results. Maybe just let's try it anyway. Wiping database. I'm not sure if you can add emojis in here. How do you call that? Like alarm? Yeah, this is the thing I was looking for. Rerun it. Maybe the transaction only commits after this thing is closed or something. Okay, that seems to work. Nice. At least now we know that the database is being wiped. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Then this is good. We've renamed that to nickname. Then there were maybe some other parts where it says username. Let's do What's U? The fuck is U? User list. So no, registered players, and then they'll have a nickname. Thank you very much. And that we can just rename. Come on, IntelliJ, you've got the magic. Yeah. So yeah, maybe later, huh? Is there another reference to username? Yes, in the text field. So I want nickname to end up there. God damn it. Oops. Username. When is this happening? View register button. Ah, that's like placeholder text, this thing. I think, I'm unsure. We will see. Is there more username? No. Cool. We'll save. That will trigger the build again. Oh, it's already triggered. Okay, now it says nickname. I think it will fail because I'm sending JSON objects with nickname to my backend, but my backend hasn't reloaded yet and it still expects username. So if I do derp, haha, bad request. So this I need to translate a bit and put it on some notification or whatever, but that's for a later time. So let's just reload my backend. Oh yeah, actually getting somewhere, guys, folks. We're getting somewhere. Oh, cool. Let's do a refresh. I'm still in there apparently. Let's enter Cordusk's nickname. Oh, whoops. I made a boo-boo. Now I want to rename Cordusk, or do I? Can we add emojis? Let's do egg. And then bot. Lol. That works. That's cool, eh? Use your nickname, eggbot. In emoji speak. Okay, cool. We've done some broadcasts of the nickname here. Let's see how that ends up in our JSON. I wish I could like trigger. Oh, that's it actually. I need an endpoint to automatically or to force a leaderboard to be recreated, then it's solved and I no longer need the schedule. I need to write it down somewhere. Policy, where you at? To do. Expose a manual trigger regeneration endpoint. This will solve the thread.sleep and is also practical for manual testing. Let's also add that in the scenario. Where's the sleep? Over here. Voila. Nice. And then, yeah, that's cool. Hey. Okay, next time we're definitely doing some UI stuff. Now we are for sure ready, yeah? Do I need to set up some designs first? Maybe I can ask some people to make some designs or something. Levi, if you're watching, please make it happen. I will be forever in your debt. Yeah, anyway. I think this is where we sign. Ah, yeah, wait. I wanted to do a last thing. Maybe first commit this stuff. What did I do? Ah, yeah, some rename. Refactor renamed username to nickname. Username is so it's too generic, and that's why I don't like it. It's not just a username. Of course it's a username, but it's more specifically the nickname. And this is good enough. Let's push that stuff, and then let's make sure that whenever we add something here, like hot mess, that this part gets cleared as you get a success. So that should be super simple, because we know that we get a return. Let's go to our messages. That will be very clear. The message or user encoder. It's actually not a user encoder, it's a actually it's a register player command encoder. There we go. That's a little bit of a rename. So small rename. Then, okay, like at the top, we should have somewhere our message type. There we go. So when we got a register player response, that's where we want to go. We'll do handle register player response. When it's okay, I want to update the status to registered, but I also want to update the register input to nothing at all. Or is it a maybe type? No, it's just a simple string. Okay, when it's empty, we do this. Okay, so I hope that because we just reset it to its initial value, that the viewing of this stuff also gets updated automatically. So let's try adding some audacious Ferris again. Now I expect it to be cleared, and it will say lead sniper 69 again or something in the... Nice. Nice, that's nice. Okay, cool. Okay, let's commit that. New feature. Auto clearing nick or input field, maybe. Input field on successful registration. There we go. Let's push that. And that, my dears, I think is that. Unless we can find something that we can start and finish within the next 15 minutes, which I doubt actually. Maybe we can do some more refactoring. Try and extract some stuff, maybe. Oh, actually, we can do this, but I don't actually do anything at all with the got register player response. So this is I'm not interested in that, in fact. Because really what I'm getting from this one is a 201 successfully registered, I think, or I should hope. Yeah. But I am adding the body though, and that I can just get rid of this. Okay, maybe. So I don't really know if you can do that. Because the way it's used is over here. No, here. And I'm not sure if you need this complete thing here. What do you do when you're not interested in the OK type? We just put a nothing there, or what? What was it? Never? Not interested. Never. No, I want nothing. Do you really need a maybe type for that, or what? Oh yeah. Is it a unit? Where is the void type? Is there a void type in Elm? I forget. A void type in Elm. Empty parentheses. Ah. Yeah, this looks good, and then this can be a void type as a, yeah, looks good. Not doing anything with that, in fact. No, that's not true. This is different because it expects something with a string, but I don't care about that. And I think you might not even need to, yeah, you still do. Okay, there we go. So basically this indicates that we're just really interested in handling the error result of that thing, and not interested in doing anything with the ID in fact, so it should be okay. Oh, sweet. Okay, so that's good. Then I can also remove from the controller returning the nickname. I thought I could. That's weird. Is it, yeah, it's because of this thing, I guess. Ah, okay. Build then. Yeah, I don't care about the type, Jesus. Is it any? Can I just do any? Maybe this can be any as well. Any, are you okay? You're okay, Annie. Nice. Voila. Then we can change this part because we don't, or we're not interested in the result even. That's also okay, and this we don't even care about. Cool. Nice, huh? Why is it so formatted so weird? Okay, just do it like that then. Some cleanup. Let's run this test. Okay, I almost forgot that you can't actually just run the method itself, so we'll run the class. Nice. Then we'll try and fix her or just run this. I'm not even sure that I need to fix anything. Yeah, it's here, huh? There's no assertion there, so that's fine. Okay, looks good. Looks good. Then I think that's that, and we just need to reboot our application, and then like do a final manual test, and then I think we're Gucci. So that's basically some cleanup on if we're not really using it, the return argument of that response, which is now empty anyway, then we can make that explicit. Let's get rid of that stuff. So read will do it's already refreshed. Let's add allrec. Allrec buddy, you're registered for the Scramble Ladder. Derp. Here we go. Cool. Let's do a final build maybe. So we'll stop our server, then run a full build from Gradle, which will run all of our tests. Actually, I already want to commit this. So here, this is a refactoring step where we cleaned up unused body arguments. We do a complete refresh of the list now. All right. And then soon, yeah, we'll be done. No. Why? You what, mate? Is that because of the timer thing again? What does the policy look like? Yeah, that's annoying. So that to do is going to be a good fix for next time, I guess. It does feel cool switching between Kotlin and Elm. It's basically my ideal setup for projects. Or no, not my ideal, my most longed for setup for projects. So now I'm finally doing it. Last time I wanted something in production faster, and I thought I could do it faster in Vue, for example, which might be true, not really sure. I think every UI framework comes with its own complications. So yeah. I guess I want to call this commit undo. Is there a here config reset to shorter delay so scenario tests works again to get a working build. And we push, and that's it, y'all. Alright, thanks for hanging out. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. So today we actually did some Elm, but we also created a registered players endpoint to fetch all of the registered players. Yeah, and we did that in 2 hours and 40 minutes time with explanations and some learning stuff. So, and a scenario test. So I mean, that's quite okay, yeah. I think, I would say. Cool. Friends, I will see you next Tuesday. And yeah, have a nice week. Was there something else I wanted to plug? I guess not really. Maybe maybe not see you next Tuesday, because Next Tuesday there will be the Lean Coffee meetup at the same time that I stream. So maybe I can get in like a Sunday session or something. Yeah, we'll see that. Maybe see you on Sunday. There we go. Allez, see you.